I've gone with the nine and what they've said here, that we have reached critical mass consciousness. Critical mass, if you know what that means, and as it said in the channeling, this explains to many what is happening here, is a level one reaches, and when just that level, it can be within workforces, workplaces, counties, countries, areas. When you reach that certain level, that's when things happen. You've reached a number that creates something to happen. And while we may not have reached critical mass as in sort of actual human beings that are aware, what we have reached critical mass in is the consciousness level. And now, since the 999 energy, we've reached critical mass. The other quite important piece of information that came forward, I feel, in that channeling was that about the new earth and how many of us have visualized the new earth. We've felt it, we've seen it, we've known it for many, many years. Now is the time that you shall begin to see visible, tangible, physical evidence of this new earth. So those two, I mean, all of the channeling has many subtle, much subtle information and on many levels, but those two pieces of information stood out for me. And I haven't read this anywhere else or heard it anywhere else. It's come through from the nine, and often what happens is I get something from the nine and then someone else will perhaps say something which is confirmation from me. I haven't had any confirmation of this from any other source other than the nine. I'm going with what they've said, and if this is correct, then this is really, really exciting. So, if I can rebound back to you, Jivanda, what do you think about those two issues? The fact that we may have reached critical mass in our consciousness and what that means, and that we may start to see actual physical, tangible evidence of the new world that's being created, of that new fifth dimensional frequency. Do you kind of resonate with that in any way?
Hello, I'm here. Well, I know that indeed that's a theory of critical mass, that if some level is reached, that everything changes for everyone, I just see myself that in comparison with many years ago, so much more people becoming aware and conscious. So I think somehow we are doing something good.
Yes, wow, that's definitely true. I agree with that there. So, talking of alignment to light and inner integrity, and the nine saying that this is more or less one and the same thing, and they speak about there are many people out there that operate from their absolute inner integrity, knowing that in everything they do, they make the right decision. They make the right decision for them. At the time they made what they felt was the right decision, and they operate from that, and that they don't need to necessarily be consciously fully aware of the ascension or the technicalities behind the ascension or the knowledge or the religion or the spirituality, but because they operate from inner integrity and all they do, they are going with ascension frequencies as much as we are, that are aware of the ascension frequencies. And that is our key to aligning with light, is to stay with that inner integrity. And how many of us who have understood about the ascension frequencies for many years possibly have been moving in and out of inner integrity, and I can definitely relate to that because I feel that that's perhaps been my path. I've been with integrity, but then I may go do something and afterwards think, oh, was that really within integrity? Did I operate from emotion, or did I operate from some silly sort of attitude in me or whatever? But now is the time, because of this critical mass being reached, now is the time for us to operate from inner integrity in all that we do.
Well, sometimes it is hard to make how do you call it? To be aware whether it is from your emotion that you are reacting, or that it is from your heart, your higher heart. It's very difficult sometimes to distinguish and sometimes you are in a kind of how do you call it, cloud or so, and you don't see very clear what you are doing, and every time you learn from it, because everything you do when you are not in alignment, when you are not in your integrity, it comes back to you, and you come to understand that that was it's all good, of course, because we all are learning, and but it is so much easier to do things from your heart, but that takes a lot of courage too.
I agree completely, and I think, well, I can't really speak for anyone else, but me personally, when I was younger, I believe I was operating from emotion all the time, and I absolutely agree with everything you said about you learn from that. When I was younger, I don't know if I came into that place of inner integrity that often, because now, how I am now, I look back, and to operate from emotion seems to me to be like a memory rather than something I do a lot, although I know I have still been doing it. And it is difficult to distinguish. And I suppose, to put that into words, the emotion coming from ego is a reactive stance, really, operating from fear or jealousy or anger. All of those emotions are going to take you into doing something that's not with your inner integrity and from your heart. And it does feel different. The emotions from the ego feel like, and I can say to all way showers, and I'm pretty sure that they've had a similar path. Remember when you were younger, when you were still very much in your indigo warrior vibration. This isn't for the young ones now, because I think many of the young ones now are in that higher place, and they probably won't go through that in the same way that we did. So remember how it was when you operated from emotion, and from an instant emotion would come up and you'd react to it straight away. I used to be that way.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm sure we yeah, I'm sure many of us were, because as you say, it's our learning phase. And I'm not saying I don't do that now. I'm sure there are times when I do, but I recognize it now.
Say that Magenta Pixie is your higher self?
Well, I would say so, yes, but I would say that the objective here with the ascension is for the higher self and the human self to be so blended they become, and I think what's happening is we're becoming more and more and more our higher self.